What if your intelligence, the very thing you've always relied on, is the reason you feel stuck, restless, and quietly miserable? Napoleon Hill uncovered a brutal truth. The smarter you are, the easier it is to sabotage your own happiness. Overthinking, indecision, self-doubt. These aren't flaws. They're habits of a mind that's too powerful to sit still. Have you ever felt like your brain won't let you rest? Like your thoughts are too fast, too loud, too sharp? This isn't just in your head. It's a pattern, and it's stealing your peace. In this video, we'll break down Hill's hidden warning, the one most people miss, and show you how to stop letting your mind be your prison. If you've ever felt trapped in your own intelligence, you're not alone, and you're not broken, but you do need to see what's really going on. You think you're being responsible, prepared, even wise, but what you're actually doing is destroying your peace. Napoleon Hill warned us, thought is creative. Your mind can shape reality, but it can also trap you inside one. Smart people fall into this more than anyone else, because your intelligence doesn't just give you answers, it gives you possibilities, endless outcomes, infinite what-ifs. You don't just think, you overthink, and that overthinking becomes a cage. You rehearse conversations that never happen. You predict disasters that never come. You invent problems that only exist inside your head, and then suffer them as if they were real. Hill's insight was simple but sharp. The mind is a tool. Left undirected, it doesn't default to peace. It defaults to fear. Here's the shocking truth. Your intelligence might be the reason you can't feel joy, because you're always preparing for a threat instead of being present. You're not living, you're calculating. And in that constant mental rehearsal, life itself slips past you. But if overthinking is the trap, the next enemy is even deadlier. It doesn't just paralyze you, it convinces you you're being smart. If overthinking is the first trap, indecision is where you get stuck forever. Napoleon Hill called it one of the deadliest forces in human psychology, not because it hurts, but because it freezes. It convinces you that waiting is safer than moving, and smart people are the most vulnerable. Why? Because intelligence multiplies options. The smarter you are, the more possibilities you see, the more outcomes you consider, the more scenarios you simulate in your head. But instead of moving forward, you stall. You plan. You hesitate. You need more time. And soon, your greatest strength, your mind, becomes your greatest weakness. You've been mistaking indecision for wisdom, but it's not caution. It's fear, wearing a mask of intelligence. Hill's warning was clear. Indecision is death to progress. And you don't need more information. You don't need to be sure. You need to choose. Even a flawed decision creates movement. Movement creates feedback. Feedback creates clarity. But indecision, it just creates regret. Decisiveness isn't about being right. It's about being willing to move when others freeze. But what if the real problem isn't just indecision? What if it's what you believe about yourself? Self-doubt doesn't feel like fear. It feels like logic. You tell yourself, I'm just being careful. I'm just being realistic. I need more experience. But Napoleon Hill saw through this mental disguise. He called self-doubt a learned disease, one that infects smart people most of all. Because the more intelligent you are, the more nuance you see. You can argue both sides. You can deconstruct your strengths. You can outsmart your own instincts. And so, you become your own opponent. You hold yourself back, not because you aren't capable, but because you've convinced yourself it's mature to wait, that it's wise to shrink. Playing small doesn't make you noble. It makes you invisible. And every time you second-guess yourself, you reinforce a belief that you're not ready, not worthy, not enough. Intelligence without confidence is just high-functioning anxiety. The people you admire, they probably know less than you. They're just not afraid to act. Wisdom doesn't mean waiting. It means knowing when it's time to move anyway. So why do the thinkers stay stuck while the bold move ahead? Hill had an answer, and it hurts. Napoleon Hill saw a painful pattern in society. The thinkers work for the doers. The cautious serve the courageous. And the intelligent often end up taking orders from those far less qualified. You've seen it. The boss who doesn't know half of what you do. The leader with less skill but more audacity. The influencer with confidence but no real depth. So why does this happen? Because the world doesn't reward knowledge, it rewards motion, boldness, speed, initiative. Smart people get stuck in their heads. They prepare, they plan, they hesitate. Meanwhile, the bold act, even if they're wrong. And here's the kicker. Most success doesn't come from being right. It comes from being first. If you're waiting until you're ready, you'll still be waiting when someone less talented takes your place. The real cost of your intelligence isn't failure. It's stagnation. A quiet life of working under people you should have surpassed because they dared when you doubted. How many dreams have you delayed while someone with half your ability took the leap and won? But this isn't just a mindset issue. There's something deeper happening. An invisible pattern that traps you without you realizing. Hill called it hypnotic rhythm. Hypnotic rhythm was Napoleon Hill's most overlooked and most haunting idea. It's not just a habit. It's not just a routine. It's a psychological groove that becomes your identity. Hill described it as a mental autopilot, a rhythm your thoughts fall into, over and over, until you stop noticing it's happening at all. And for smart people, that rhythm often looks like this. Wake up, overthink, doubt yourself, wait, regret, repeat. You've practiced this cycle so many times that it now runs without you. You don't even need a reason to feel stuck anymore. It's just what you do. And the scariest part? Your intelligence isn't stopping it. It's fueling it. Because your mind is powerful enough to justify the rhythm. You tell yourself stories about timing, strategy, realism. When what's really happening is habit, not thinking, programming. Your misery might not be a glitch. It might be a routine, and every day you stay in it, the rhythm gets deeper. Intelligence without direction becomes self-sabotage, and hypnotic rhythm is how it hides. If this is hitting somewhere you've never let yourself look, hit subscribe. This channel is for thinkers who want to break free. So how do you break that rhythm? Hill gave us one solution, and it changes everything. Napoleon Hill didn't just diagnose the disease. He gave us the cure. He called it definiteness of purpose. And it's more than just setting a goal. It's choosing one direction and giving your mind no more room to run in circles. Because awareness is not enough. You already know you overthink. You already feel the rhythm. But knowledge without movement is just more paralysis. Your mind needs a command, not another question. You break hypnotic rhythm not by thinking better thoughts, but by choosing a purpose so clearly that your thoughts have no choice but to obey, even if the path is flawed, even if it's uncertain, because action, any action, interrupts the cycle. Definiteness of purpose is what takes your intelligence off autopilot and puts you back in control. You've spent years sharpening your thinking. Now it's time to aim it. Pick one thing, one goal, one direction, even if it's messy, even if it's scary. Because motion is the only thing that beats misery. You're not broken. You're just scattered. Your brilliance is waiting for a target. But there's one last truth Hill buried between the lines. The real reason most never escape. It's not fear of failure. It's fear of what happens when all your excuses run out. Napoleon Hill hinted at something radical, something most people miss. You're not afraid of losing. You're afraid of winning. Because success means the end of your favorite hiding place. Excuses. If you succeed, you can't say I wasn't ready. You can't say they held me back. You can't say I didn't have time. You have to face who you are, with nothing in the way. And that's terrifying, because success brings exposure, responsibility, identity. No more potential to hide behind. No more someday. Just you out in the open. So instead, you self-sabotage. You stay stuck. You call it thinking it through. But it's fear wearing a lab coat. Your misery isn't random. It's a disguise. It keeps the pressure off. It lets you say, I could have done something great. If only. Hill understood this deeply. Most people drift, not because they're lazy, but because they're terrified of what they'd have to become if they stopped drifting. You've been protecting yourself from your own potential, because if you succeed, you're responsible. No more stories, no more hiding, just you and the life you were meant to live. What would your life look like if you stopped fearing your own mind and started mastering it?